Thank you, Council President. So I just want to follow up on my question regarding land disposition as we move forward. City of Philadelphia making sure that this process is great for everyone and it's transparent, and we're doing what we need to do to be efficient on behalf of the people in which we represent. So moving forward, for sales to private developers, the default process will be competitive bidding, correct?
Competitive sale. So competitive
sales.
sale can either take the form of a bid, or it could be an RFQ or RFP.
RFQ or RFP. So let's just talk about the appraisal process, right? Explain it to me, and then give me an idea of, is the appraisal value going to be at the start of the expression of interest, or when the transaction is approved before the legislation is introduced, or when the person actually goes to settlement with the City of Philadelphia? Because there's like and all this is to try to help the public understand, because it's very complex. And the public will get a story that says developer receives property way under land value, school district of Philadelphia is robbed out of their money, when the public doesn't know that this person might apply 2-3 years ago and just for reasons not of their own, finally go through the process and actually receive the approval and the sale transaction to receive the property. That value of that land may have tripled over that time period, which we know it's not the fault of the developer, but it's a process. Can you explain that, just for the record, please, and how we want to fix it moving forward?
Right. So we are working on clarifying this and making it very, very clear. So one thing is, I want to make it clear, an expression of interest is not an application for a property. The expression of interest.
Say it again for the record.
Right. Expression of interest is exactly that. It's, I'm interested in this property. Okay. So what would happen is, if a property is, we're going to talk about competitive sale. So something goes out for competitive sale, either a bid or an RFP. Once somebody is selected, they will, they have 30 days, that we said, to do an application. So once somebody is selected, there's about 30 days to complete an application. And then what happens then, once somebody provides a signed completed application, there's then a clock starts ticking of 120 days. And that's to give the agencies time to put together the formal project development or redevelopment agreement. Part of that agreement will be an offer price that will be determined either by an appraiser or an in-house appraiser that we have. So the value would be determined at that point. So within 120 days of the approved application package, they would then get the formal agreement, and in that agreement is the offer price. They would then have 60 days to sign that, right? So, and then we're going to hold that price for a year. And so in that year, they have the ability to go through all the various boards and approval processes, and also start getting their permits in place. Typically, prior to settlement, we require the zoning permit to be in place. That can be a lengthy process, but we're going to make it clear that we will hold that price for a year, and if they can't get to settlement in that year, that then we reserve the right to renegotiate. Okay. It is really not possible or fair to a developer to say that at the day before or a week before settlement, we're going to readjust the price. So we're going to agree to hold it for a year. I just want to clarify that for the land bank, that per the land bank legislation, that bid or RFPs must include a base price in that document that's established by the appraiser or the in-house opinion of value. And that opinion of value would also be determined by someone who is a certified appraiser.
Thank you. And one last part. How will you promote the bidding opportunity to ensure that all potential bidders can participate?
Right. So
everyone knows that this is fair game. Everybody have an opportunity to participate in the bidding process. And also, a major concern that I've been hearing when I've been going to community meetings is that in areas where we see hypergentrification, you have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 key developers who are dominating the market through the bidding process. Like they have the wherewithal, they have the trust funds, they have the investors, the financial backings to win, right? How does the little guy participate in that process? Like, as representatives of government, do we let the market just move forward and those individuals who have the most investment dollars are okay to just run away with dominating the market when it comes to just development, period? But specifically, issues I deal with are around gentrification. How does that get balanced in this process as well, or not at all?
Okay, so a couple things to unpack there.
Just
one
2
is
components.
right. Well, one is if you submit an expression of interest, you would get notified when that property comes out for either bid or RFQ, RFP. So that's one way
So
of
you'll get
notification.
the information.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other way is it will be publicly posted on our websites for 30 days, so that people are aware that it's up there.
And what website is that?
Yes.
What website?
Well, right now it will be posted on the PRA, PHDC, Land Bank, and Department of Planning and Development. But again, as we consolidate, it'll be the website. Right. And then in terms of who can be the successful developer applicant, I just want to make it clear that bids or the whole competitive sale is not just about highest price. There are a number of factors looked at, which is developer capacity, proposed use, community benefit, minority participation. There's a host of things. It's not just about price. And we can have that conversation, particularly in areas that are experiencing certain types of development pressures. Do we want to put out in the RFP that, we are going to have a preference for mixed income housing or something like that? We can have those conversations. So I just want to make clear that competitive sale doesn't mean highest bid.
I'm glad you said that for the record. And just one last component. When we talk about the sale of land, right, what role does the city play in terms of, I know the market, let's say in gentrifying areas such as Point Breeze and Grays Ferry, right, a lot may go for $100,000, right? Now, we know how the private market works, right? But can we are we allowed to have a say-so on maybe capping that value of land, right? Or do we have a say-so in how much that land can be sold for? Because when we talk about gentrification, if you're selling a lot for $1,000, right, we already know you're building that house for $500. We know you're selling it for at least $500 because you got to make that money back, right? So, because we're talking about city-owned land. And so I get challenged at a meeting saying, well, Councilman, if the city is selling lots for $100,000, the city is participating in the gentrification process because the lots that you're selling are going to developers who automatically want to build at a certain price point. They make their money back. So can you kind of educate me on, do we have a say-so on that process, or the land value just automatically has to be significantly high because of the value of properties that are going up in an area, in a certain area?
Right. So I just want to clarify the last one is also the land bank requires actual posting at the site when something's up for competitive sale. In terms of value, so we already have a program, the workforce housing program, where we offer properties at a discounted price if the developer agrees to provide a unit at an affordable price for a certain period of years. So again, if we're offering something particularly through an RFP or something, we can put those sort of guardrails with you, if you will.
I've done several of those.
Yeah,
yes.
You can put those in your process, and also we reserve the right to negotiate the value of the property if there is a community benefiting component, such as affordable housing or something like that.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's my time. Thank you, Council President, for
Thank
your
you.
latitude.
Thank you, Councilman.